Hello everyone, my name is Nina Fickett and I am a mixed media artist, and today I'm going to be working with some hot press watercolor paper and the incredible white mask liquid frisket by Grafix, as well as the dipstick and the frisket remover, as well as some watercolors. When using the dipstick for the first time, it's good to rinse off the nibs and then blot it dry before using the liquid frisket. Start off on this watercolor paper, I am going to just doodle and just really do a tester sheet to just get a feel for how these two things react together. Well, three things: the watercolor paper, the liquid frisket, and the watercolors themselves. I am coming directly in with a variety of different watercolors, just getting it wet. I'm going to come in, spray a little bit with water just to get things moved around. I'm just keeping my round brush parallel with the paper as best as possible to get that watercolor to move around, and I am just being more like putting down blocks of color on this page. My really goal here is to just see how well the frisket adheres to this hot press watercolor paper. I am taking care, because I learned from my last exploratory session where I was using liquid frisket with the Duralar wet media film, that if I got it really wet and then aggressively rubbed on the frisket, I would get some of that pulled up. So I am being cognizant of that, although this time I am using a paper which does have some tooth to it for that frisket to adhere to, and so far I've had no problems at all. So now it's time for the big reveal, and I'm going to be pulling up the liquid frisket with the eraser. Now that I've pulled all that dried frisket up, I am going to come back and put an additional layer of frisket down, and then come in once again with watercolors to build up those layers. Once again, I dry that frisket, and I'm coming in now with some metallic watercolors to change things up a bit so you can see the different watercolor types taking effect on the surface. And I'm going to come in very similarly to how I did with the first layer of watercolors. And the reveal. So now I am going to step it up a notch and basically do the same thing, but this time I'm going to add a stencil to the mix. This is a TCW stencil called Circles Nested, and I've learned a lot about using the stencils with the Liquid Frisket. I know that if I get it on the plastic, I need to pull it up while it's still wet, not when it gets dry. More color down prior to adding the frisket to really build up those layers. So this time that's what I'm going to do. I've put a little bit of frisket down on one side. I'm going to be adding some watercolor, then adding some additional frisket, and just really building up those color layers, utilizing the frisket to do that. Here you see I've dried the watercolor and I'm coming back in and pulling up some of that frisket. Continuing on to overlap those layers, moving from left to right on this page. Well, I couldn't be more pleased with the results of these papers, which I'll show you in just a minute, using the incredible white masking Liquid Frisket, along with the nib and the eraser by Grafix. So this was my tester sheet that I used the nib on, and then did watercoloring. This is where I used a stencil along with the nib to apply. This is more of just the nib, no stencil, just making marks. And again, this time I used a mark making tools, a piece of bamboo, and just a plastic palette knife to go through and make marks onto the paper. And then I added watercolor. So these have been a lot of fun. I am going to continue to play with the Liquid Frisket. I've learned a lot and I'm excited to keep experimenting.